Vinyl community, YouTube. How's it going? Welcome to Cosmic Vinyl. It's your boy Cosmic Brian here. Let me turn that up a little bit. What's up, y'all? Y'all probably thought I fell off the face of the earth, huh? Well, here's the deal. And I think I've maybe made one video in the last couple months, but yeah, it's been a busy time in the cosmic world. So anyway, yeah, gonna be some changes. I've gotten quite a few records here. I'm gonna do like a two-part thing. I got two stacks. I'll show this stack here, and then I'll show the other stack in another video. Split it into two so that it's not this like epic, huge, humongous video, you know what I'm saying? So, first of all, cheers to y'all. Drinking a little bit of the longboard here. It's pretty tasty. Anyway, gonna be making a few changes here with the cosmic realm. What you see here is not going to be the usual setup. I think I've got some cool ideas that I'm going to try out, but I don't know, got a new lava lamp. Check out the purple sparkler over here. I always had the red one, you know, but I got the purple one. Pretty cool. Anyway, now this first half of this video is, there's not a lot of, oh my god damn, somebody turn that fucking shit down, what the Anyway, the first part is gonna be just some stuff, you know, I was watching Sean Snowy from Psychedelic Snow. You know, he says, you know, we have a vinyl addiction, man. Even when we don't have a lot of money, we still find ourselves in a record store. We're going through bargain bins just so we can walk out with like a record, you know, just something to listen to show. So the first part will be kind of some of that. I mean, there's not any grails here. The second video, which I probably will come at a later date, has the really good stuff. So, so let's get this party started. Maybe I just take off the brain shield here, put the glasses on so I can see. Holy cow, this place is great. I wish. Anyway, so let's get on with the records. That's why you guys are here, right? I gotta arrange some things here so I don't spill spill beer on my records. You don't want that. Okay, the intro that you were listening to, and this is kind of a crazy record. It was among the first records I ever had when I was a kid. I believe it was given to me by my godparents, of all things. I seen it in their collection and it just stuck out to me. I must have been in grade school, you know, and I didn't know anything about records or music, but was this Cross and the Switchblade soundtrack. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this before, but it was a story about a guy played by Pat Boone here, David Wilkinson, who went into he's a guy from like Indiana, and he goes into the inner city. He just feels compelled. He's a preacher, and he feels compelled to go preach to these inner street kids. And he comes across some of the most notorious and most violent gangs in the city of New York. In fact, one of the guys is Nicky Cruz, who is president of the largest gang in New York called the Mau Maus. And the whole gang thing to me was just this like something I was always interested in. I love the Warriors. I love the Wanderers. You know, those movies. And the Cross and the Switchblade was another one I liked, even though it's more like, you know, Christian oriented. But you know, they used to rumble. They like just beat each other. You know, they'd have these parlays where they'd have bats and and sticks and chains and decide what kind of stuff they were going to use. If there was going to be switchblades or zip guns, and then they'd just meet in a vacant lot and just go for it. Like they were, like, it's just so bizarre to me that was real. But check this out. That's a young Eric Estrada right there from Chip's fame right there. A young Eric Estrada playing Nicky Cruz, the president of the most notorious gang in New York City, and his second in command, Israel, right there. Anyway, that's what we were listening to. This is just a crazy album. It's definitely of its time. I think it's God, I want to say it's like late 60s, early 70s maybe. Probably more like early 70s. But it's actually got some cool songs on it, like some fuzzed out kind of stuff, and kind of that intro thing that I played was kind of wild. But yeah, Cross and the Switchblade, just a killer, cool soundtrack that brings back a lot of memories for me from when I was a cosmic youth. Okay, let's get on to the show and tell. All right, here we go. First on the docket is a record that I've passed over a few times, but decided to pick it up. This is Pilot. This is their self-titled debut. The song off of this that everybody knows is the song called Magic. Oh, 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 it's magic, you know. You know, that one it's you know, it's definitely a pop record. It's almost like bubble gum, but not quite. It's bordering on bubble gum. It's pop rock, soft rock, that kind of thing. It's like a step up from, say, these guys, the Bay City Rollers, which two guys in this band here, Billy Lyle and David Patton, were substitute members of this band. So yeah, so there's a connection there. So they're like a step up from the Bay City Rollers, and maybe a step below, say, Peter Frampton, I'm in You era record. So, but yeah, I mean, it's cool, and they cemented their one-hit wonder status with the song Magic for sure. I mean, I just remember, if I hear that song on the radio, I listen to it every time. I love it. And now, of course, I've got it on vinyl, so I'm stoked about that. This record was actually produced by Alan Parsons of Alan Parsons Project. So, and you can kind of hear, I mean, 3 or 4 of these guys in this band went on to be in Alan Parsons Project. So, you can kind of hear the leanings, the prog leanings, kind of there's a song at the end here called Sky Blue that you can kind of hear the beginnings of that sort of, that Alan Parsons Project type prog rock. So yeah, it's definitely got that like 70s pop flavor. It's fun, it's not horrible. I mean, these guys are great musicians. The production is slick and it's sharp. They definitely know their way around a studio. So yeah, I mean, you know, their future with the Alan Parsons Project was pretty much set in stone, so to speak. So yeah, for me, Magic, the song Magic makes this worth the $3 that I paid for it. Brings back memories of the young Cosmic Boy, Cosmic Brian. So yeah, great record there. Next is another pop outing. Some of the guys that like old 60s pop and early 70s pop will know that this is Billy Joe Royal, and Cherry Hill Park is the name of the record. He's probably best known for his 1965 crossover country like pop crossover record called Down in the Boondocks. Down in the Boondocks, down in the Boondocks, da 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 da, down in the Boondocks. See, when I don't know the words, I just say da 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 da, or I say something 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 down in the Boondocks. You get me? Here, let's throw a little Billy Joe Royal on the turntable. Listen to the Billy Joe Royal. What's up, Royals? Yeah, he's kind of got a almost like a I don't know. He's from the Atlanta sound, you know. Back then there was an Atlanta sound and like a Motown sound, you know. Detroit had the Motown sound. There was an Atlanta sound as well, and you know, so he's got a lot of soul in his voice. It's pretty. Some of it's pretty rich, and he's just got that enough of that raspiness to his, and can take it to a place where it's just edgy enough to where it's kind of like pop rock, like power pop, I guess you could say almost. Yeah, one of his main influence was Sam Cooke, so you kind of can get the idea there. But he's got a real, like I said, he's got a real soulful voice, and heck, the song Cherry Hill Park makes it worth the $3 price of admission that I got here. But he's kind of like a Neil Diamond, and with a tinge of maybe Tom Jones, you know, showmanship kind of a deal. So yeah, I dig this. This is Billy Joe Royal. I really love the song Cherry Hill Park. It's kind of like Mary Hill used to hang out on Cherry Hill Park. The game she played lasted all day till well after dark. All the girls, they criticized her, and all the guys, they idolized her, 'cause Mary Hill was such a thrill after dark down at Cherry Hill Park. Huh? A little Cherry Hill Park for you. Anyway, let's move on from that nonsense. How about a little big, beautiful day? I've shown their debut record that I had. It's got the, you know, like the seafront on it with the clouds and stuff. It's a beautiful day. This is it's a big bad beautiful day. Key word compared to the other one is bad for me. No, I mean it's not bad. I shouldn't say that. But big bad. It's a big bad beautiful day. It's choice quality stuff. It says right there, and it's got a camel. He's thinking about a bunch of other camels riding in a Cadillac convertible. And he's wearing sneakers. You figure it out. I don't know. It looks kind of like the Camel cigarette label. You know, the packed label. Anyway, they're an American rock band from San Francisco, 1967 era. It's kind of like folk, psych rock, light on the psych, definitely. And this doesn't really have, I wouldn't even say that this has really any psych leanings to it. But the vocalist is a female, Patty Santos, violinist David LaFlame, and his wife Linda LaFlame plays the keyboards. They were a pretty important band, you know, in the development of the San Francisco music scene, but yet they didn't quite break through like, say, a lot of their contemporaries did, like, say, you know, Jefferson Airplane or The Dead or Santana, also. And probably due to poor managerial decisions. They moved actually from San Francisco to Seattle, and their manager didn't want him to play any clubs or anything, so in San Francisco, so they really kind of missed the boat. Also, they also missed playing Woodstock by the luck of a coin flip. Apparently, a literal coin flip between them playing and Santana, and Santana won. So obviously they lost, and you see how Santana turned out. Their future turned out. So, and then these guys, you just basically collect their records in dusty, record store bins. So. Anyway, this record was released in 1971. It's got the opening track is called "Creed of Love," which is it's cool. It's got a rocking up-tempo beat to it. I dig it. There's a couple other songs on here that I'm cool with too. "Oranges and Apples" is a cool instrumental on the other on side 2. Check out the guys kind of clowning there. One guy's got looks like he's wearing a bra on his head there. But this is folky. It's even jazzy at times. There's horns. But yeah, definitely the high point for me on this record is the cat that plays guitar. There's some great guitar leads on here. I think his name is Billy Gregory, who played on this record in particular. But yeah, I dig the guitar work on this record. Like I said, not psych at all. I like the first record better. I like some of the songs, but it's kind of a snoozer for me a little bit. But again, for a $3 bin record, I'll take it any day, and it was in great shape. So I mean, the cover's not beat up. Usually, it's all punked out. But yeah, I dig this kind of, but it won't likely see a lot of time on the turntable. So it's a big, bad, beautiful day, folks. Next on the list is an album that you're probably going to be a little surprised that everybody's probably got this record. I mean, anybody who's a fan of psych music and 60s music in particular have the Moody's, like the Days of Future Past and In Search of the Lost Chord, which is this one. Everybody, has these records, but for some reason, I kept finding the copies of this, but they were always beat to hell. And finally, I decided, look at the cover. That's just so cool. If that doesn't draw you in, I don't know what does. It's very cool. But I am really surprised at how much I really enjoyed this record. I think it's got a gatefold here. Let me pull it apart. It's just got basically like some kind of like a labyrinth or something here. It's probably some sort of sigil or mantra thing. I don't know. But yeah, very, very psyche, trippy. And this is psyche not so much in fuzzed out guitars and feedback and stuff like that. So this is psyche and just the atmosphere of it and the trippy lyrics and the richness to it. It's floaty and it's but also it can be epic and bombastic and orchestral at times as well. It's kind of, I guess it'd fall in the first off, let me talk about the lineup. It was on the keyboard. The band was formed in '64. Keys was Mike Pinder. Multi-instrumentalist Ray Thomas. On drums was Graham Edge. I love Graham. Anybody whose name is Graham and they spell it Graeme. That means they're cool, like they're hip. It's a hip Graham. You know what I'm saying? And on guitar you got Justin Hayward, and on bass you've got John Lodge. That's the classic 70s lineup that played on all those great early records. But this is like a prog rock, psych rock, maybe even art rock, or even like a symphonic type rock, I guess. it's even, you know, I love this album. I think I probably love, I don't know, I might even like this better than Days of Future Past. But anyway, this album was released in '68. Love all the vocal harmonies, a lot of cool vocal harmonies. Like I said, the rich musicness of it. And there's also a song on here. It's called, well, Ride My Seesaw is obviously the one that most people know on this. But also there's a song called Legend of a Mind, and I believe it's a tribute to the LSD guru Timothy Leary. In fact, they mention his name, and they repetitively in like the chorus of the song. So yeah, good stuff. And just lots of great gang vocals. What is it about the vocals, like the lead vocals on these prog bands, that the lead singers have to have these high voices? It's just like this. It's just so crazy. It seems like all of those early ones do, like Yes and ELP and all like Genesis and them. But anyway, these guys I feel like were prog before there was a term prog rock. So they basically set the path for what was to come by Yes and ELP and King Crimson and those. So yeah, no fuzz, no deep psych or heavy psych, but just a rich prog psych feel to it, an atmosphere, great rich trippy lyrics, and some very cool guitar grooves and organ grooves, and some cool Mellotron effects thrown in there, and you've got a pretty great album. So yeah, I dig it. But I better move on if I'm going to show all these records. Shifting gears a little bit, going into a little garage rock action. These guys were probably the early garage rock. The term garage rock probably was invented because of these guys. I actually love this record. This is a repress, obviously. Look how clean it is, and I know I picked it up for it's like $20 or less, you know. But you know, they're probably the best known of those early garage bands. 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. There they are on the front, just kind of chilling down by the pier, right? Having a good time, catching some rays. All the guys in the band are from Mexican descent, but they're from Bay City and Saginaw, Michigan, active initially through 62 and 69. Here's the guys on the back there. Great electric organ-driven garage rock and roll right here. Raw vocals of Question Mark and aka Rudy Martinez. Almost like a punk, gives it almost like a punkish, early punk kind of a template almost for that sound, that garage punk sound. Influenced by surf rock like Link Ray, Dwayne Eddy. Mix that in with some British Invasion kind of sound, and you've got 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. I gotta show you the record too. The repress came on this. It's on clear vinyl. See, I can see you, VC. Can you see me? Anyway, yeah, on Cameo Records, it's definitely a clear record. Also, when I went to put this on, didn't realize it was a 45 RPM. And so here I am listening to this, and I'm like, Jesus, this sounds kind of like droney and kind of trippy. And I realized it was supposed to be played at 45. Dumb guy. Anyway, yeah. Some other songs I like besides 96 Tears are, there's a song in here called 10 O'Clock that I really like. It's got like some cool guitar rock and of course that 60s garage sound. Upside is another good one. Great electric organ driven tune. And with Mark's, question marks, raw vocals again. Just a great mix here. So I always thought that 96 Tears was I don't know why, I just figured there was some sort of underlying sexual innuendo to the title and to the lyrics of that song. I just kept likening it. If you flipped it around, it'd be 96 would be 69. And I don't know. And he talks about somebody being down there looking up, and I'm not. It just, you think what you want, but I just feel like there's something a little bit sexual there. I don't know. I could be an idiot too. It could be just somebody crying their eyes out, 96 tears, and they're pissed because they're got left in the dust. I don't know. And then the other person moved on and became successful. Fuck, I don't know. Just leave me alone, VC. Jeez. Where's my brewski? God, I miss you guys, man. I'm telling you, things are gonna be different. I'm gonna start trying to put a video out 1 or 2 a week, and I'm gonna try and do it on a regular schedule. It's just that I've had a lot of shit going on, and I just can't. I found it very difficult to just drop down in a seat and show records, even though it should be that simple. But I overthink it sometimes, so that's why you haven't seen me around. But I'm gonna try and start putting out some regular output here, and I'm gonna change gears a little bit. I've been showing a lot of like garage and psych, but I'm kind of moving in like a power pop direction. I've been listening to a lot of power pop, early stuff, 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, and even some current like power pop stuff. So you're gonna see some of that kind of stuff, and I'm just kind of trying to I've been discovering all this since I've been part of the vinyl community. I've discovered all this great music just by watching your guys' videos, and that's the part that I dig about this whole thing. And it's really not about like how many records I can show, although I get wrapped up in that, and I have to show the coolest stuff. It has to be top shelf. To be honest, I kind of got caught up in that a little bit, and it doesn't have to be Grail. It can be just whatever you like to listen to, and something that's affordable, and something that other people are more in tune. I mean, I'd say the majority of people out there are probably more watchers than they are participants, showing videos. My friend Dan from Dan's Vinyl channel brought that to my attention. You know, you're overthinking it, bud. You know, just have a good time. Do what you feel, and so that's kind of how it's going to be with me from now on. So I better finish this up. I got looks like 2 more records here. So another record that probably surprised that I mean, everybody's got this record, and I don't know why I didn't have it. It's Steppenwolf's second record. Look at, I never thought about it, but this album cover is absolutely killer. I mean, look at that. It just, kind of all their silhouettes around this cool, like, rock star, like, it's like foil and shiny, and it's got the, the colorful star in the middle. It totally screams like late 60s, early 70s rock star, rock and roll, classic rock. Steppenwolf the second, a Canadian-American rock band, 1968 to 1972. Lead singer John Kay started the band in Los Angeles, initially called the Sparrows. Probably most famous for their hits Born to be Wild and Magic Carpet Ride. First use of the term heavy metal in a song lyric. This is their second studio album, obviously, aptly named, the second. Even I, Cosmic Brian, with all my fogged out, drug-riddled brain can figure... No, I'm kidding. I'm not drug-riddled. What's he talking like? Okay, down to earth again. Anyway, yeah, even I can figure the title of the second, right? So anyway, main hit off of this is Magic Carpet Ride. It's psych rock, blues rock, classic rock, hard rock. It was critically acclaimed when it came out. It's got 5 tracks on side 2, following Magic Carpet Ride, that are played in like almost like a medley. So there's no like break in between, which is kind of weird. I didn't like it as much as the first record, although I do think this rocks, and I dig, and it will see some turntable time. There's the band on the back there. Steppenwolf, you know, I think they just get kind of passed off as just this classic rock band because they had these huge hits. They don't get, you know, because they're not like obscure or anything, they don't get all the credit that they deserve. But these guys were a rock band. These guys were killer rock and roll. Yeah, I absolutely love Steppenwolf. I mean, they were one of the pioneers of classic rock with Psych and Distort. I mean, they're great. They're just a great band. I'm going to close this out with this album. I've been dipping my toes in the prog scene too, which you'll see in the next part of this video. I've been kind of listening to some prog, picking up some prog records. But this is, yes, Close to the Edge. This is a great record. Again, you know, they always had the cool artwork usually on the cover or in the gatefold. So, yeah, English prog rock band formed in London, 1968, by singer John Anderson. Numerous formations throughout the years. They've had at any given time 19 different regular members throughout their so that's quite a family tree, if you will. This is their 5th studio album, released in 1972. It's the last album to feature drummer Bill Buford. He went on to play drums with King Crimson, so yeah, he did all right, right? John Anderson and Steve Howe, the guitarist, they co-wrote an 18-minute track on this record. The hit singles on this are "And You and I" Part 1. This album was the band's biggest commercial success. I would have guessed "Fragile." You could check my facts. I could be wrong on that. There's the band on the back there in the song list. Songs and arrangements were so complex on this record that they literally had, in the studio, had to record everything. And even in the rehearsals, coming up with the songs, they had to record it all so they could basically relearn it all the next day, because it was just so the complexity of the music, and not as complex as, say, a Gentle Giant, which we'll talk about in the second video, but still very you know, they took the progressive rock to another level. So there was a lot of stress on the band during the recording of this record, almost to the point of breaking the band. You know, I guess really the title "Close to the Edge" kind of features this, really displays the state that the band were in at that time. It was a lot of infighting in the studio, I guess. You know, too many musical geniuses. I mean, look at here, we got John Anderson, Steve Howe, Rick Wakeman, all in the same band. I mean, these guys all went on to do great solo stuff and other projects. I mean, when you got so many geniuses in one band and everybody, you know, vying for their control in the studio and the direction of the band, I can see where, you know, it could be a little bit of conflict there. But this is the first use of the Yes logo there. It's another Roger Dean cover and design. So, and like I said, cool gatefold. So yeah, just even the inner sleeve is kind of got like it's almost like a medieval or minstrel kind of sound to it. It's an example of controlled chaos. The beginning is just there's like a intro that's just prog insanity. It's got like and then there's all, of course, all the high vocals, and then the organs kicked in, and there's like this cathedral organ. It's very layered. It's very imaginative. Just a great Yes record. So I'll be getting, I say yes to Yes. So that's my first Yes record. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm sure it's been at least a half an hour. I am going to come back with a second part of this video, which I'll probably film and post in a few days. And then, like I said, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm kind of moving in a little different direction, and things might even have a different look. But yeah, I'm still Cosmic Brian. This is still Cosmic Vinyl, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know this is a long video, and I get a little long-winded, but it was fun, right? I mean, come on, guys. We're having a good time. We're checking out records. We're having a beer, listening to some music. You guys have a great evening tonight. Have a great day tomorrow. Love each other, man. Just peace to everybody. And I love you guys out there in YouTube land and vinyl community. One more toss back of the brewski, and I'm out of here. Yeah. See you next time, vinyl community. Love you guys.